All right, welcome everyone to Beyond the Badge. This is our 18th episode, and I'm so thrilled that you're coming back to join us. I know our audience is filing in. Your 11 o'clock meetings are done. You're jumping in to enjoy an hour of inspiration as we celebrate another 20 stories from the month of June. I want to welcome you all here. I've got some great stories to share. In fact, today, have your tissues ready. I already know that there's one that I cannot get through even reading it myself. Janie, I love it. You were dancing throughout the whole opening too. She's got her tissues ready. It's just some incredible stories, and I'm thrilled that we're able to share them with all of you today. So as our audience fills in, I'm going to give a little background to you all. For those of you who might be first-time viewers, you're here for a celebrant, and your first time coming to Beyond the Badge. And where do these stories come from? Well, the people we're recognizing here today have all been recognized already on our system daily huddle. What happens is every single day at Mount Sinai Health System, our senior leadership from all of our different hospitals, all of our different ambulatory areas, a lot of our service lines like radiology, pharmacy, supply chain, support services, they all come together as a leadership group. And they celebrate, well, they go over a system huddle where they make sure everyone across Mount Sinai is prepared for an excellent day for patient care, for safe, high quality care. But they also take this pause, and everyone knows it's their turn in the rotation where it's saying, Mount Sinai Beth Israel, it's my turn as the leader to share a story of someone who really role models what it means to be an exceptional employee here at Mount Sinai Beth Israel. And then it's West's turn, and then it's Morningside's turn, and so forth. They get one person each time through the rotation to celebrate. The people here today are the people whose names came up and stories came up in the month of June through those 20 or so huddles that took place. And I want to thank Joe Mari, Swati Garg, Hillary Polly. They lead those huddles and coordinate them, and they get us these stories so that we can reshare them with this bigger audience. Their colleagues, their friends, their families didn't get a chance to hear that during our private leadership huddle that happens. So we collected them all, and this is our chance to celebrate them together and bring them on screen. So we've got our celebrants backstage, maybe a little anxious, maybe a little excited. They're ready to go. And I'm going to call them up. We're going to have our Sinai Spotlight committee members read their stories. Those are the people who do this work and commit to employee engagement and recognition efforts around the system. I appreciate and always am so grateful for their support in this work at their locations. They're going to read the stories, and then we'll have our celebrants be able to respond. My team backstage, Jessica Rubin, Alyssa Jean Andrea, Madison Irving, they're supporting this backstage. They are a whirlwind back there. They're giving me little private messages I got to keep looking for to say, oh, this person's ready. This person had to step away for a patient. They're going to be back. But they also have a program for you. If you haven't seen it yet, you can see a program of all the celebrants. And there are a handful that couldn't make it today. Vacations, commitments with patients, they couldn't step away. And we've got their stories in writing. So you can go and read even some more stories afterwards. Okay, with that, I want to get things going. I've got some great people to introduce you to. And I want to start by sharing that many of the leaders who are on the huddle or support the huddle attend these sessions. I know my leader, our Chief Learning Officer, Diane Adams, is out there. I know many others are always in our audience coming to hear the stories and cheer for them in the chat. And two that I want to call up, I asked if they would come on screen for me today and welcome our audience and in honor of their celebrants and all of those we're going to honor today. I want to have a chance to open things up today. So I'm going to go first for Mount Sinai Beth Israel and downtown. Our president, Elizabeth Selman, is here there. And Liz, so glad you could come here in support of these honorees. I'd love to give you a chance to welcome our audience today.
Hey, thanks so much, Steve. And hi, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much for joining us today as we celebrate our honored guests. I'm super excited to hear the stories of our employees who go above and beyond each and every day as they take care of our patients and of each other. I always look forward to hearing so many inspirational stories at our daily system huddles and our downtown safety huddles for MSBI and New York Eye and Ear on Thursdays when we have our Thank You Thursday celebrations. This is when we celebrate locally how our employees live our core values and make a difference in the patient and or the employee experience. I can't even begin to say how it makes my day to join these celebrations and our Beyond the Badge celebrations like today, as we share these remarkable experiences and celebrate our amazing staff and colleagues from throughout the health system. And it is so important to recognize the great work that you all do. You are our role models for our health system values and mission. I'm looking forward to hearing all of the stories today and hearing everyone share their personal mission and commitment to our patients, our colleagues, and the work that they do. Thank you for everything that you do each and every day. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Liz. And I'm remembering now your Thursday huddles as well. So this has been such a hit, and those system daily huddles that many hospitals have turned it over and say, we're going to have a recognition moment in our huddles too for our hospitals, because the inspirational impact on our leaders to hear these stories reconnects us to purpose each and every day. The attendees huddles.
Really awesome. Thank you so much for having me today.
Our pleasure. Thank you. I know you're going to love hearing all of the stories.
Yeah.
Another leader I know is in the room. There's a few celebrants from Mount Sinai West. We had Dr. Evan Flato. Why don't we invite Dr. Flato up to welcome our audience here today?
Well, it's great to be here, but I got to tell you, Steve, I'm never going to do this again if you make me follow Elizabeth Selman again. She hit every point I wanted to say. This is incredibly exciting. I do enjoy, you know, the morning safety huddle was pioneered at Mount Sinai West by Tracy Green, and then extended to the system, other sites, and then up to the system. And it's so important in 15 minutes or so to really touch base with all your colleagues, understand what's important to them, what's going on. But I think these celebrations of personal stories are so important because we are all colleagues doing this. And as Liz said, these stories are role models. Role models are important in life. You know, people you look up to, values you share, and seeing how people go above and beyond everyday activities for the care of our patients and ourselves. So I'm looking forward to listening to the details of every story and to hearing from each celebrant as they share their personal mission and commitment to our patients, not just from, you know, John and Mark from our site, but from everyone across the system. So thank you for inviting me today.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much. And yes, I know Tracy is often at those huddles. She's come to speak before. So much pride in this recognition work. And I know Andres Morera from West and all of our committee members. Again, these are the folks who are going to read these stories. A lot of them are behind collecting these stories, sharing them with leaders, giving some great role model examples. So another shout out to all of our Mount Sinai Spotlight committee members who are going to read the stories today for their incredible work, finding these great stories as well. Okay, I'm watching my team. They're giving me some updates. I want to jump into the stories. I know Katrina Bravo is ready for our biggest. I like to start with the big teams. And the whole group at Brooklyn was 3 East. We had a patient letter, and we like to start with patient letters. So we're going to have my team start to bring up some. All right, Mickey and Nicole are out there. This was a patient letter that came in for the entire 3 East team, but they specifically shared a special recognition for Ilona Sarah Brinkova, Srijana Limbu, Maxine Bignall, and Nicole Francis, who I think are standing by over here. So Katrina, I think some others might be backstage watching from the attendee list that we can't bring up, but I know Ilona's back there listening in as well. So Katrina, let me you share our first story of the day.
Sure. So I'm happy to present a patient on 3 East submitted a handwritten letter addressing to the 3 East nursing team. I was on your unit for 3 days in March, and I want to thank your whole unit, but a special thank you to nurses Ilana Sharbinakova and Srijana Limbu and PCAs Maxine Bignall and Nicole Francis. You were amazing. You answered my questions and took such great care of me. You were diligent, attentive, compassionate, and generous. It meant so much to be treated with respect and to receive excellent care. Thank you.
All right. So I think, Nicole, I'm going to have to turn it to you to respond to this letter. And Mickey, you're our manager over there, right? So Nicole, on behalf of the group, on behalf of 3 East, I'm wondering, when you see a letter like this, can you tell us a bit about the culture on 3 East and your team's commitment to providing this excellent and compassionate experience and care that this person is writing to express their appreciation to your entire unit? Tell us about your unit and your team.
We have excellent teamwork on 3 East, and we all work together, and that's what I love.
Yeah, how does it feel when you receive a letter like this that gives confirmation of how much they value you?
I'm really excited to hear somebody give me goose pimples all over.
Goose pimples all over. Yeah. I mean, it is that power of the handwritten note. And, a reminder that you might not get that letter from every patient, but when one person can speak to it and kind of pinpoint what they're experiencing and feeling, it's a reminder how much all of our patients feel that way. So congrats to you. And you're on behalf of your entire team and unit. You're a special shout out. What is it, something you bring to the experience that you particularly take pride in?
I like to treat my patient with respect. I like to take care of them. I try to be nice to all of them and make them feel like they're not sick.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I hear, Iona, is that you? I hear we can hear you, but we can't see you. Do you want to add to that?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I like to add that our unit, on my unit, on my shift particular, I know that we work as a team, and we utilize everything we able to do on that night. And to the fullest extent, we give the best possible quality of patient care as we can. And we also encourage big time the open communication between different team members. So we routinely share information about what's going on, what's changes throughout the shift, and how to manage our care better, that specific shift. And more to make it more central care. And we also promote a respectful atmosphere, and we try to implement a culture of safety, most important.
Beautiful. And all of these things come together as a team that led to this patient writing on behalf of the entire unit and the experience you have. So thank you so much, both of you, for chiming in and extend that appreciation to your entire unit.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And, I'm looking down into the chat and I'm seeing messages coming in. I see our vice president of the network practices, Alicia Gresham, writing in. Everyone has that opportunity. Let these celebrants know how you feel about their stories. Go into that chat. And so when they come off screen, they can see all the wonderful things written about them. Make sure you set that to everyone so that they can see these messages that come through. With that, I want to stay on the theme of patient letters. The first segment here is on patient letters and patient feedback. And I'm going to go next. We have Dr. Mark Allen is here. I want to bring up our first patient letter from Mount Sinai West. Here's Andres Morera here to read this story. And there we go. Hi, Dr. Allen. All right, Andres, all you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So really excited to read this patient letter. So a patient recently wrote, quote, "I would like to acknowledge a fantastic physician, Dr. Mark Henry Allen at Mount Sinai West. Dr. Allen is in the class by himself, a superb physician who has a unique ability to provide an analysis of a situation with excellent communication skills. As a physician who specializes in hypertension, my wife has received excellent care from Dr. Allen. Having an outstanding physician with the compassion, care, and competence of Dr. Allen is a major benefit for Mount Sinai West, the staff, and most of all, the patients. Please acknowledge Dr. Mark Henry Allen for his commitment to excellent healthcare and as a vital member of the Mount Sinai West healthcare team. His leadership adds that Dr. Allen is an outstanding clinician, an outstanding team member, and an outstanding patient advocate. He handles everything with a confident, upbeat style, no matter how challenging the situation. He is loved by everyone he works with, and he is highly deserving of this honor. Congratulations, Dr. Allen."
All right. Thank you, Andres. And Dr. Allen, looks like you have some fans backstage with you there, cheering you on or prompting you on.
Oh, yeah, I'm so great.
There we go. So I got to
Thank you
ask
so much.
So this patient's family asked that you be recognized for your commitment to excellent healthcare. So we're happy we can do that. But I'd love to hear from you. How would you describe that personal commitment you make in caring for your patients? What's your style?
My style is definitely just take care of them as if I'm gonna take care of my parents. Yeah. Go above and beyond what we can do. I always am very reachable with my patients. I give them my number. So even if I'm not in the hospital, they can still ask questions for me. And I believe with that particular patient, it's quite a very difficult case. So I'm glad I was able to make a positive input in her care. And she used to be one of our, she used to be a nurse, not necessarily a Mount Sinai nurse. So I'm glad that, she went well. Of course, I won't be able to do these things without the support of my colleagues. And they're my mentors.
Oh, we lost you on mute there for a second. Dr. Allen, come on back to us. You went on mute for a second there when your camera flipped.
There you go. There you go. I was just saying, my colleagues are a reflection of my work. So our division is robust. Our division has teamwork. We take good care of our patients here in Mount Sinai West. So yeah, I'm thankful.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Allen, and this letter is beautiful and certainly indicative of the great physician that you are, and I hope it means a lot for you to be that we can share it here today.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, Andres, we'll be back to you in a little while for another one from Mount Sinai West. In our programs, we're going to hold off. I'm going to see if Tyler Johnson can make it in a little while. So Rebecca, get ready. We're going to the Network Patient Support Center next. I believe Brittany is here. And we're going to bring up Brittany Olatunde from the Network Patient Support Center, who was recognized by a patient. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Steve. I'm excited to share this story today. A patient had called in frustrated because she had a difficult time obtaining certain paperwork and was concerned the office wouldn't have it for her upcoming appointment. Brittany tried to figure out how to best help the patient. She called over to the department to confirm that they had it. And when she told the patient still wasn't happy. Brittany allowed the patient space to vent about her experience and how she had been suffering with long COVID. Brittany was incredibly empathetic throughout the conversation and called over to arrange for the patient to be able to take a physical copy of the paperwork home so she wouldn't have to experience this issue again. Brittany did an amazing job diffusing the situation, and through her active listening and kindness, she was able to turn the whole interaction around. The patient told Brittany's manager that she did an amazing job for her, was incredibly pleasant, and she was so grateful to have gotten Brittany on the phone. Great job, Brittany.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. So this is one of those service recovery moments. And what a wow when you can take someone who's initially having a kind of a frustrating experience and you're able to turn it around where they're writing a letter of how appreciative they are and what an amazing experience they've had. So I just wonder if you could speak to that. How do you approach these recovery moments with empathy that lets you make such a positive change?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. For me, empathy is just a part of my personality. And the key to achieving positive change in any experience is just first listening to the patient. Having that connection and understanding that their emotions are real. And so, just like any other, like your family members will call, and their emotions are real, we have to treat our patients the same way. And it's important for us to understand who they are as individuals and understand that they have needs as well. And we are to meet those needs and accept those interpretations and just reinstate the problem back to them and then best handle it accordingly. And, I treat my patients just like family. They're like my family to me. And when I relate to them, I build that rapport when they first call. And it's very important that we always show that type of kindness to them because, they are patients at the end of the day and they need our help. So that's what I'm here to do.
Beautiful. What do you think, Rebecca? Isn't that a wonderful message?
Beautifully said.
Absolutely.
No notes.
No notes. It's wonderful, Brittany, and an inspiration for all of us and a reminder for all of us to take these moments with courage and empathy.
Yes.
And begin with listening, and we can truly make a difference in that experience for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Wonderful, Brittany. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right. And meanwhile, I know my team was backstage. Tyler is here. He's in the audience under a different name. I think we've got him now. So we're going to go over to Tyler
eyebrows,
Johnson.
lip, and chin.
Hi.
And can I get
we're going to bring up Sadiqa
underarm
Horn
blacks?
to read for Tyler Johnson. Okay. And hey, Sadiqa, and hello, Tyler. We can get you off mute for your story.
Hi, Steve,
Yes,
and
Sadiqa.
congratulations to all the honorees today. I'm very happy to honor Tyler today. A patient wanted leadership to know about our exceptional employee, Tyler Johnson, from our Renal ID allergy team. She stated that his calm, warm, personable, professional, and patient manner was great help to her. She was quite grateful for all Tyler and the services he provided to her. We are happy to hear that this interaction was a positive one and that Tyler is providing the exceptional service to our patients that we strive for at Mount Sinai. Thank you, Tyler, for going above and beyond and for exhibiting the Mount Sinai core values. Congratulations, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks, Sadiqa. So Tyler, in this quick note from a patient expressing their appreciation, they described you as calm, warm, personable, professional, and patient. So I'm wondering what jumps out to you. What is one of these attributes or another that you take great pride in when you say, like, this is who I try to be for all of my patients? Did they nail it on the head?
Well, for me, really, when it comes down to each patient I speak to, it's definitely patience, because a lot of times, a lot of patients that call in, sometimes they don't even know the reason why they're calling in. They just know that they need to get help and that, they're feeling pain or they're having symptoms that they're going through. So sometimes, even if you have to just listen to what they have to say, even if they are calling the wrong department, sometimes just having someone to listen to what you're going through just can help alleviate some fears. And if you know other departments or other places that the patient can go to just help them, that and alone itself will help the patient, help calm them, because at least they know that somebody cares and that they're willing to help them, even if they don't have to help them.
It's a wonderful example of all the other things that might be internal, just how you are as interacting with people. The skill to transition and promote to others is that patience. Sometimes you just got to listen through, be patient with them, let them get out what they need to, and then you're able to best help them. It's an excellent role model example.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Tyler. I'm so glad we could have you on today.
Thank you. I'm proud to be here.
All right. And thank you, Sadiqa. We'll be back for one more from you a little later on. But next, let's go to Mount Sinai Hospital Ambulatory. We have Jose Perez was recognized from there, and our colleague and committee member, God's Favor Guillen, is going to take this story.
Hi, congratulations, everyone. So this is about Jose Perez. A patient expressed appreciation for Jose Perez, a navigator in the HQIP program, writing, I had the good fortune to speak with Mr. Perez about specific healthcare issues. As is the case with many people, I had avoided scheduling doctor's appointments during COVID. Mr. Perez listened to my issues, patiently answered all my questions, and scheduled appointments with me. He was excellent. He has excellent active listening skills and was able to answer my questions with pinpoint accuracy instead of just giving me generic answers. As a former sales rep, I understand how important it is to engage with customers favorably. Mr. Perez is thoughtful, articulate, well-informed, helpful, and has a great disposition. These are all invaluable skills for any customer service representative to have. We thank Mr. Perez for his compassion, empathy, and commitment to excellence.
Well, thank you, God's Favor. Jose, as a trainer, what I love about this is not only did they say you have excellent active listening skills, but then described exactly what you do that lets them know that your skills are so excellent and how you apply those listening skills and your ability to give specific and accurate answers instead of generic responses. So they nailed it. They gave us a great example. And I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about, your personal communication style that you always try to bring to these patient encounters.
Sure. Thank you very much, everyone. Basically, what I try to bring is what everyone else would expect when you go for healthcare is someone to listen to you. I give my patients an open ear and just do exactly that. Listen to them so that I can be able to navigate them through their care necessities. So that's I thank my team for being able to always share information. So like this, we know exactly what we can do for the patient. So that's basically it. Treat your patients like family.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jose. And you nailed it. It's great. It's great to know that you tried to listen, and that's a part of what you bring to every experience. And then it's so great to hear a patient say, like, I see it. I recognize it. Felt so good to be listened to, and gave me real answers. And that shows how it's not just good for them. It helps you. You're able to give more specific answers when you've taken in as much information as possible. And they identified that too. They got specific, real answers, not generic responses. It's incredible work.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Jose. And thank you, God's Favor, for sharing this story from Mount Sinai Hospital.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're going to go downtown. Our Mount Sinai downtown leadership recognized a pair from Chelsea. So I'm going to have my colleague there, Nydia Sanchez, come up. I think Ives might be there with you. Ives St. Cloud. There we go. And we also have Dr. Teresa Shao. There we go, Teresa. Hi. And Nydia, if you're all set, I see you there together. Why don't we hear this patient letter?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. Congrats to all the celebrants. A patient wrote, Dr. Shao and Ms. St. Cloud are the reason I continue receiving care at Mount Sinai. Dr. Shao is an outstanding medical oncologist who listens, is caring, and promptly and thoroughly responds to all my questions and messages. Mrs. St. Cloud is an excellent phlebotomist. She is so skilled and creates a warm and supportive environment for patients. I truly love them both. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. And what I love about this story is that they're picturing you when they think of Mount Sinai. You know, rarely does a patient picture our logo or picture a building. They're picturing people who you say, that's who I picture when I think of the care I'm going to get at Mount Sinai. And they're picturing the two of you, which is so heartwarming and amazing. So, you're the reason they continue to have care at Mount Sinai. I'm wondering if you could comment on, what do you each proudly bring to that patient experience that you think is making such memorable connections for your patients that they're choosing you as their reason to keep coming?
It's teamwork. I work with some amazing women at the lab, show empathy to each patient. Never take things personally. Give each patient their time and show care when they need it the most, especially working with cancer patient. Most of all, I love what I do and I enjoy it. And I just love the time with the patient and listen to their needs and listen to what they're going through. And listen if they were my sister or my brother, and listen if they were as a family member. So this is it.
On cue, as soon as you said you love what you do, I knew all those little hearts would start to flutter up on our screen. I love it. Beautifully said. And again, we're back to the patience theme that Tyler started off for us, patience and listening as a key there. Dr. Shao, what would you add about the experience you try to deliver?
Yeah, I mean, just as, she said, I mean, we have a great team here, we try to, I always try to make a personal connection to the patient. It's very hard for a patient with cancer to go through this journey. So we try to listen to their story, make them feel as comfortable as possible. And then we definitely work as a team, phlebotomists, nurses, NPs, everyone's trying to, guide the patient through this very difficult journey, from cancer to finishing their treatment. So I'm very honored to be, to hear this from the patient that, they recognize what we do. But it's not just us, it's everyone working together to achieve this.
Yeah. And I love just the added part, not just listening, but listening to their story, who they are, their family, their history, who are they as a patient that we can better connect with them. It's beautiful. Thank you both. I'm so glad this patient took the time to share how much of a difference you make in their experience and that they continue to choose Mount Sinai thanks to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's it for our people who are here from our patient letter section. We did have two who couldn't make it. Just last second, Carol Ann Wright couldn't make it. She was recognized from the network practices, and a patient wrote a letter commenting about her vigilant observation and caring each time they come to visit the 5 Cuba Hill Road facility. So a shout out to Carol who couldn't make it. And in the stories and writing section, we have one for Dr. Joseph Gasibi from Mount Sinai Morningside. Couldn't be here, but he was praised by a patient for providing excellent life-saving and empathetic care and for giving his family the courage, support, and hope beyond what they could ever ask for. So that story is in writing in our program. I'm going to go on. We just have one story in our next section, but it is a powerful one. I'm going to call Ann Dickerson from Mount Sinai Hospital Faculty Practice on to read this one. Their whole team, I think, celebrated this story at another event. And it's for Irene Braccia and Miriam Rayab, who I'm going to bring on. And Ann, I'm going to turn it to you for this.
Yes, thanks, Steve. And hi, Irene and Miriam. Nice to see you guys. So this extremely moving story was shared in appreciation of nurse manager Irene Braccia and social worker Miriam Rayab of radiation oncology. Quote, Pediatric cancer patients in radiation oncology are not as common as adults, and for obvious reasons, these cases tend to take a toll on our team. This month, we had a pediatric patient celebrating what will be their last birthday. A very sad case, which impacted the entire team, of a young child with terminal cancer. Irene went out of her way to coordinate and plan a birthday celebration on this patient's last treatment day. She got decorations, cake, and turned an exam room into party central. During the celebration, the patient kept asking for their favorite food, donuts and chicken nuggets. Unfortunately, we did not have either. Miriam excused herself and a little while after came back with donuts and chicken nuggets to celebrate this special occasion. You can all imagine how the patient's face lit up with excitement. The mother, of course, was extremely happy in the middle of a terrible situation. Irene and Miriam turned a very difficult moment into a very happy memory for this patient, and especially for the patient's mom. She will cherish and remember the last birthday celebrated with her child. And we just want to thank Irene and Miriam for their incredible compassion. We're so lucky to have you. And they actually shared some pictures of the event with me. And you could just tell how joyful the child and the mom was. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, Miriam, I don't know what it is. Something about the chicken nuggets gets me every time. I've got 2 young boys, and just picturing that gets me. And it's an amazing story. It's an emotional story. It reminds us all of these, experiences that are happening around our hospitals. And I just would love for you to share, both of you, to turn to you. What was this experience like for you with this patient and family, and just anything you'd like to share to add to this beautiful story?
I think it was a very unique situation for me at that time. I just started working at Mount Sinai. It was month 3. I was maybe in my 2nd week on my own in radiation. And I was just so inspired by the hospital system and everyone doing amazing that I knew this is my time to also contribute to that. But also I think, in this field, we talk a lot about vicarious trauma that we experience with our patients that go through such hard times. But I think this is one of those cases where we actually got to see vicarious resilience. And this patient's mother was so strong and so resilient and so inspiring. And I still am working with her. She still reaches out about things that I can help her with, like housing. And, it's just one of those things where you see someone be so strong and still so amazing, and you're inspired to contribute to that. And it was just an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be able to work with them.
Well, wow, are we happy you're here at Mount Sinai with us, Miriam. Welcome. And thank you. Irene, let me pass it to you.
So this particular patient was coming for his 2nd round of RT. So I had already developed a relationship with the mom, and she already knew how the treatments were going to be. But I have to applaud the team, the nurses, the radiation therapists, who always rally and try to get in and make the situation a happy one. And it was through them that we were able to celebrate. He had a great time. I was able to talk with the mom and see what would happen after. And she shared with me that she wanted to pay it forward. So she would like to work with special kids, special needs kids. And, I had shared that with Miriam, so I know she is working on that. So, he's okay for now. He finished his treatment. He enjoyed his party. He enjoyed his gifts. The nurses and the therapists, like I said, decorated the room, got him gifts, and, made it a really happy occasion because he did meet his goal. And then I also know that he went Make-A-Wish Foundation sent him to Disney World. So he had a great time. So I think everyone did very well, and I'm especially proud of our department, from the clinical staff to the billing staff, who really worked very hard to get him through.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to share this story with others around Mount Sinai as just an incredible example of the amazing work and relationships that are formed here and care that's provided here. It's a role model example that we can all be proud of. Make me feel proud right now, especially. So thank you so much. And Irene, I got to give you a shout out. Erin Sprague couldn't be here. Amazing. Irene's name came up twice this month, not only to being honored, but it was one of the star recognitions that she wrote for Erin that was so great that their leadership recognized Erin Sprague, but she couldn't be here for it. But you're even the celebrator of colleagues as well. Amazing. But Irene and Miriam, thank you so much for everything, for being here today and sharing with us.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Anne. And we're going to go into I mentioned star recognitions. Let's go to our appreciation by colleague section. These are stories that came from peer-to-peer praise or recognition. Somebody wrote a star message or submitted something to leadership that said, I've got to give a shout out to my colleague or someone I worked with in another department. And they were so exceptional that they were shared by leadership. So I'm going to go first to Beth Israel. At Mount Sinai Beth Israel, I'll have Diana Grillo, our committee member there, read a story for Dr. Syed Ali, which is a great star that was received. I love this one. Diana, take it away.
Thanks, Steve. Not fair for making me go after that one, by the way. But if I'm going to go after that one, I think this is an amazing story to follow it up because this star was incredible. So cardiovascular fellow Dr. Syed Ali here at MSBI received a star recognition from his colleagues in the CCU. They wrote that Dr. Ali is an exceptional cardiology fellow. There is no one like him. All the nurses and patients admire his mannerism, his respect for all, his dedication, and the positive attitude he displays in all situations we face daily. He leads with integrity and is well respected for the knowledge and wisdom he shares with his colleagues during rounds. He brings unity through a unique way of doing team rounds where all team members share and participate in order to come up with a common individual plan that provides each patient with the best quality of care. We are very proud to have Dr. Ali be our fellow, and we celebrate him as he continues on in his career. He is truly the heart of this team.
I love that you exaggerated the heart there because Dr. Lee, it's really something when the cardiology team refers to you as the heart of their team, which is great. So I got to ask, what is at the heart of your personal commitment you make to your patients and colleagues that's leaving all of your colleagues so proud to celebrate you?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Well, thanks so very much for the kind words. It's truly an honor that I don't quite feel that I deserve, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I'd like to extend the recognition really to the rest of the entire BI cardiology family who works daily to provide excellent patient care. Or it's a distinct privilege to be able to play a small role in my patients' lives and be with them on their medical journey. To answer your question, Steve, my passion for patient care stems from long ago when I was a medical student, witnessing my own mother having a massive myocardial infarction with a prolonged and tumultuous subsequent ICU and hospital stay. I would sleep in the recliner next to her in her bed nearly every night and grew to appreciate medical care from a different perspective, perhaps the most important one, that of the patient. So she ultimately did not survive, and her passing cultivated within me a strong sense of responsibility to provide nothing but the best to my patients. That's what I try to do every day. Thank you again, and congratulations to everyone else.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Ali. I'm so sorry to have heard that's at the core of your story. A very sad moment, but it is often what we hear for someone who is so excellent that they've got something so true to their heart that brings out the best in them. And for many of us, we accept stories like yours as our own inspiration, saying, I could be the same way and I could deliver in that same way and picture our own family members in that case. A wonderful story. Thank you so much. I love reading this star. It was just wonderful. Okay, thank you. And next we're going to go out again to Mount Sinai West. Andres, I'm going to call you back up. Mount Sinai Health System facilities leadership, out of all the facilities work being done around the system, recognized John Calasanti, who's here. Hey, John. And Andres, why don't you share this story about John?
Absolutely. So as a senior project manager with the Department of Planning, Design, and Construction, John Calasanti manages complex capital projects at both Mount Sinai Morningside and Mount Sinai West. John is a dedicated and talented employee who makes every effort to provide the best outcomes while always maintaining our core values of safety, quality, cost, and schedule. Recently, a Mount Sinai West leader shared her experience working with John, writing, quote, "I want to take a moment to tell you how lovely it is to work with John. John is organized, knowledgeable, honest, always prepared, and has such an even temperament and positive disposition. He has been wonderful throughout the 432 planning and design process and on the 9th floor oncology construction. He's able to work with various levels of stakeholders and handles challenging groups with ease. It really is such a pleasure to work with him. Congratulations, John.
Yeah, thank you, John. So I got to imagine when you finish a big complex project like that, that's got to be a great sense of pride to see a project come to completion. But also you get this appreciative feedback from those you're working with at West and at Morningside. And I'm wondering what's the pride that you have from hearing how your leaders and the stakeholders really value working with you as well.
Oh, thank you, Steve. It's really an honor to receive this recognition and to be here alongside so many amazing stories from throughout the healthcare system. So thank you. And congratulations to the other celebrants. You know, following the end of a construction project, it's always very rewarding to go there day 2 and see it in use. And receive positive feedback from the clinicians and see patient care in practice. So ultimately for me, the biggest reward is the understanding that I helped contribute to improving the patient experience in my own way. So, you know, projects are complex and are always truly a team effort. So, you know, I'm very grateful to the leadership of my department for being afforded the opportunity to be involved in so many interesting and dynamic projects at my time here at Mount Sinai, as well as to be able to work alongside and wear the badge alongside so many talented and dedicated individuals here. So thank you. I look forward to continuing to manage projects here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great. I mean, I'm picturing you on day 2 and how powerful that is a moment. I love to hear that. And now I'm picturing you walking around both campuses saying, well, I've helped with that. I remember I did that 5 years ago. I did this one. And you probably do a whole tour to see how things are still going.
Yeah, it is nice to go back and see, you know, when you go back day 2 and you see it in use and it's packed and it's in use and you hear the feedback from the clinicians. That's the most rewarding part for me too, to just know that you help to contribute your own way to improving.
Well, I love not only help to contribute in that project, but also with the people. They just love working with you. And that's why they submitted this message to leadership. Love it.
Well, thank
you.
you.
All right. Thanks so much, John. Okay, I can't wait to bring up our next guest and celebrant here in ambulatory care call center, Janie Dash, who's just had all this energy backstage. You were dancing with me in the opening, ready to go. Janie, let's have Sadiqa Horn come on up and read this story for Janie. There we go. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Steve. Hi, Janie. Okay, so Joanna Swakowski, who is Janie's supervisor, submitted a star recognition for Janie Dash, saying, Janie received a call from a patient who is in distress and in need of help. Janie listened to the patient's needs and acted accordingly to best help the patient who is in need of medical attention. Janie quickly asked one of her peers to call 911 while she remained on the phone with the patient. Janie kept the patient calm and remained on the line until EMS arrived at the patient's home. Janie truly embodies what we strive to achieve here every day at Mount Sinai, and we are grateful to have Janie on our team. Thank you, Janie.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to guess that's Joanna next to you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Hey, so thank you for submitting a star. We always love to see, so you can share with leaders your feelings on why Janie or any employee is doing so wonderfully. And I love that it says every day. I'm sure you make this dramatic impact in all of your patients every day. But in this case, where there's this emergency situation, do additional skills kick in? How do you get yourself focused to handle, what can be an overwhelming emergency situation like this?
Overwhelming is where I work best in overwhelming situations. It's actually where I work best. Your first instinct is to always listen first, not to always react first. You want to listen to what the patient is saying, so that way you can meet their actual needs, not your needs, but their needs, because every detail is important, whether it be a small one or a little one. And I've had instances with this same specific patient that called in, so I had a familiar history with him. So, keeping them calm is definitely number one as well. You don't want them to feel like they're frazzled, because if you're frazzled, then they're going to get frazzled. If you're upset, they're going to get upset. You want to listen to them first. Listening first is always key to make sure that you're getting their needs across, whether you got to make an extra phone call or you just have to go above and beyond, just to make sure that you listen to them, because listening is always key. It's imperative, comprehensive.
Yeah.
And empathy, if you don't have that empathy to listen to them, to empathize on what they need, then it's never going to work. So you have to empathize what they need. You have to basically treat them as family, because that's what our patients are to us. They're family. You might not ever meet them in person, but once they call here and you establish that conversation with them, they're immediately family. You're family. You're my cousin. We're family. We're family. So it's really important to listen.
It's beautiful. And right, we were hitting so many different great talking points here. How you're approaching them like family and reminding yourself of that to be able to make the emotional connection. How listening to me, I'm hearing like in an emergency and you want to speed things up, it's to slow things down.
Absolutely.
And get all the right details. And that speeds things up in turn to listen well, but to listen with empathy is such an important add-on to really
Empathy
listen
and compassion. You
what
must
they're
treat them the way
experiencing.
that you would expect your family to be treated if it was in their situation, because you never know. It could always be you, could always be your family member. So you always want to have that compassion, that heart, that ear, that understanding.
Right. And my guess is that you bring that to even the less emergent situations. Every call with the patient is listening and empathy into all of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because listening is always key. They're not supposed to be listening to you. You're supposed to be listening to them.
Well put.
That's priority.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I see Sadiqa nodding like, yes, I love it. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Janie. Thank you to Joanna for submitting this star.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
It went all the way up to the huddle. Love to share it. A great example. Thank you, Janie. All right, next up, so that rounds out, we actually had a few that couldn't make it that were all in writing in our program. We had another for Wilder Chavez from Mount Sinai Queens, who's appreciated by a colleague for his excellent communication, empathy, and willingness to facilitate a smooth process for their team as they moved into a new space. It was another design, planning, and construction manager. A star recognition for a physician assistant said that Livette Lozado, an MSBI pathology lab, is always willing to go the extra mile, and her dedication to the job is evident in her preparedness and work ethic. And as I mentioned earlier, Erin Sprague was submitted a star from Irene, sent it for Erin at Mount Sinai Hospital, and it talked about her skill at de-escalating a situation by advocating for the patient while ensuring safety for the staff. All of these 3 stories are in our program if you'd like to read through those. They're wonderful. So once we round out this episode, go back and read a few more. I've got 3 more to share with you, though, in our employee spotlight section. First up is at Digital and Technology Partners. Their leaders recognized Erica Bernardino with a wonderful story. And I'm going to have Seema Setia come on up, our colleague from DTP.
Thanks, Steve. Throughout the Timekeep implementation project at Mount Sinai Queens, Erica Bernardino maintained a laser focus on impacted staff. Erica developed high-touch, trusted relationships with stakeholders at all levels of the organization. She demonstrated empathy, making frequent visits to MSQ, including a series of intensive listening tours and pre-go live tabling events, to be able to see the project from her stakeholders' perspective. Erica became a trusted presence and key liaison at MSQ, relaying customer needs to the project team and keeping stakeholders informed. She went above and beyond regarding communication and on-site outreach to ensure our users were heard and seen, and that the project team responded to meet their needs. Erica's customer focus contributed directly to the success of the Timekeep implementation. MSQ stakeholders and leadership have been extremely pleased with how the go-live unfolded. Congratulations to everyone being recognized today, including my wonderful colleague, Erica, who continues to inspire me with her amazing work. I'm so happy.
Oh, thanks, Seema, and congrats, Erica. I hear this story twice.
Thank you.
Twice I heard built trusting relationships. Trust was in there so much, and your commitment to listen and understand the team at Mount Sinai Queens. And I'd love to hear you explain your approach, your style, and how you build these relationships with those you work with.
I think for me, Steve, it's really just using the same core values that we embody for our patients, right? So I'm thinking about the employee experience. We want our employees to feel like we're listening to them, we're empathizing with them, we're building trust, we're understanding what their experience is, and we're here to make it better. And as part of the DTP team, I know we all as a team work really hard to make sure the employee experience, how you feel, how Tyler feels, how Brittany feels, right? We want to keep you happy. And that's what these transformations are about. MSQ was an amazing partner. I just joined the Mount Sinai family. So big shout out to the leadership there. Connie Vargas, who was my counterpart, right? Like I'm thinking technical people, she understands workflows. So it's just been wonderful. So I think it's, we care about our patients, we care about our employees, and I'm very, very proud to be able to support that here at Mount Sinai.
Well, thank you. I can tell already how you built such great relationships so quick. You're remembering our celebrants by name, Brittany, Tyler, bringing them into your story and making them a part of it. I love it. It's clear how you built such great relationships so quickly. And I want to thank you. First one, when we announced that we would be honoring you on Beyond the Badge, to reach out with such a lovely thank you and appreciation and how honored you were also shows just how wonderful a person you are. So thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. And thank you again to the leadership team at DTP, because they really did empower me, right? They kind of told me, go do what you do best. So I really do appreciate that. And the results are positive. So thank you to MSQ and to all of the leadership across the health system.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Erica. And thank you, Zima. 2 to go. I'm going to go to New York Ioneer. Diana Grillo, who works at Beth Israel in downtown, is going to read for New York Ioneer celebrant Navita Holly. Hello, Navita. Let's get you up. Okay, Diana.
All right.
Hi.
So retina clinic nurse Novita Holly is an exceptional team member who consistently displays a remarkable level of dedication, initiative, and professionalism. Her unwavering commitment to excellent patient care has had a positive impact on the retina clinic. During the Retina Go Live template optimization, Novita has remained flexible with the ongoing schedule changes and has worked late to ensure a continuous nursing presence on our patients. Her ability to communicate effectively with colleagues and leadership has significantly contributed to the success of the Go Live. Novita embodies a strong sense of teamwork as she collaborates with other staff members to ensure patients are taken care of every step of the way throughout their visit to the clinic. Furthermore, Novita was recently recognized for experienced nurse excellence in an award ceremony held for ambulatory nursing excellence, and she is in the process of studying to become a certified ambulatory care registered nurse. We thank Novita for her exceptional performance, dedication, and continued hard work.
Excellent. Thank you. So you've already gotten an award, the Experienced Nurse Excellence Award, and Experienced Nurse Excellence, yet still it's in school and studying for the next part of your career journey, which is wonderful to see. And now I caught from this story unwavering commitment to excellent patient care. And I'd love to hear what that means to you. How would you describe this commitment that you make to your patients?
So thank you for having me here today. So we have a lot of patients here. This is in Retina Diagnostic Center, Ambulatory Care, New York Ioneer. So since after the pandemic, the number of patients been increasing. So we've been having like issues with the wait time. So they trying to get provide this a new process that they're doing. And with this process, there's some challenges that happen. So we trying to work together as a team to help this, to make the patients less their frustrations and reduce wait time. And the most important thing for me my commitment is as a nurse in the ambulatory care center is that to be able to communicate with the patients and the family member with compassion and courtesy, because we have a lot of patients from a very culturally diverse patients in different backgrounds. So we just a lot of patients with them, and very, very patients, and they really appreciate that. And also, there's another thing that I would like to do for my patients here, that to expand my knowledge and skills so that I will be able to take more like effective decisions, to take actions in the work in the clinic. So yeah.
That is always commendable, and applauding anyone who's, especially as an experienced nurse, to always be looking for what else I can learn to best treat and best serve my patients is inspirational. And love it. And thank you for sticking with the same thing, that patience and listening and understanding our patients. You see how powerful that if somebody, we share these with new hires. We tell new hires, come to these episodes. You'll hear what it's all about, work at Mount Sinai. And they're getting some serious lessons on listening skills and the importance and the difference that it makes when you're patient and understanding. So thank you, Navita, for hitting that home too.
Thank you. And thank you so much for the production team of Beyond the Badge.
Oh, thank
and
you.
also to my nurse manager, Tenkila. She's the one who's nominating me today. She's
Oh,
not able to
beautiful.
be here.
Thank you, Novita.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a wonderful day. I got a couple more in writing that I'll share at the end here, but first, our final story to share who's here. Fernando Lamb is from Mount Sinai South Nassau. Our colleague Olivia McGregor, who does great patient experience and employee experience work out at South Nassau, is going to read this story. Fernando is here first to check in with me, make sure you look good, and he's our big finale today. So I'm going to pass it to Olivia to go right into Fernando's story.
Thank you so much, Steve, and congratulations to all of our amazing celebrants today. I would like to recognize Fernando Lamb, who is the Senior Project Manager in the Design, Development, and Construction Department, where he partners with the administrative and clinical staff to ensure design and functionality meets both operational and safety requirements, resulting in an optimal patient experience. Fernando worked tirelessly to operationalize the new trauma suite and expansion of 8 new private trauma bays, which contributed to our successful trauma survey and our ability to provide a vital service to our community. Fernando also provides continuous support to the ED during his multi-year emergency department interior renovation project and addresses issues to maximize efficiency. Most recently, Fernando completed phase 2 on a very tight schedule to ensure the organization was prepared to treat the first patient in this new space as soon as possible. Fernando mentors and trains staff, inspiring others to provide excellent customer service and high quality outcomes. He is a true asset to Mount Sinai South Nassau, and we are so grateful for his dedication and commitment to our organization.
Yeah, thanks, Olivia. And I got to add, I had a chance to talk with Fernando for about 10 minutes before the episode, and we were just chatting about his work and just so much pride and commitment and sense of purpose in the great work you're doing and all the projects that are happening around South Nassau. This group specifically talked about the incredible teamwork and collaboration and what it is like to collaborate with you on these projects. And I just wonder if you could speak to that, Fernando, about how you focus on collaborating well with these teams on your projects.
Thank you, Steve. And I'm honored to be here with all these celebrants. I think keeping an open line of communication with everybody, all key stakeholders, users, and the team members, that goes a long way. I try to keep an open mind, utilize everybody's unique perspective to help solve some of the challenges that we run into during a project. And obviously the leadership here empowers us to become owners and really take it to heart and make the decisions that are right to produce a quality job.
Well, that's excellent. So this was in appreciation for all the projects probably completed and teams you worked with. And I know you've got probably dozens going and on the forefront. Now, what I love to hear about Fernando as well is that, you never know what your day is going to be like in his role. He's talking about how sometimes, you're planned and it's going as planned. And then other days, your whole day could change in a moment. And Fernando's always ready for it.
Every day brings a new challenge, and we just got to do our best to keep up with it.
Well, it's great work. I'm glad we were able to share your story. Fernando was also very modest. He said, there's so many people life-saving that deserve this more than me. So very modest, but your leadership team, your colleagues, the people you work with very much appreciate the collaboration and teamwork that you provide with them. And they are delighted to be able to celebrate and honor you today. And you got a lot of friends in the chat shouting you out too. All right. Thanks, Fernando. Thanks, Olivia. I got a couple more. Check it out in the program when we're done. We'll post that one more time from in the spotlight section. Niurka LaPierre Diaz from West Ambulatory was recognized for putting the patient first as a medical office assistant. She's kind, respectful, and quickly puts patients at ease with her smile and words of comfort. So congrats to Niurka. And also to Bobby Wong, paramedic coordinator, recognized by the Clinical Command Center leadership for taking extraordinary measures to transfer a PICU patient to Seattle so that she could be closer to family while she battled a terminal illness. If you want to check out that story, it's in the program that our team just posted. It's 1 o'clock. That's another episode of Beyond the Badge, where I am continuously struck, emotionally inspired, and proud to be a part of a community of colleagues like you just met that make me so proud to say I work at Mount Sinai.